Hello and welcome to another episode of the ComfyUI Hunyuan video model generation. In this episode, we're going to be sharing a lot of things today. I'm going to a much more detailed version of the tutorial. I'm doing a very global wrap of all the things we've learned so far and making sure that it meets the need of a beginner and also an expert user. Let's start with a crash course of the basics there, because if you don't know the basics, you won't know how to follow up and to keep up with what's going to be coming there. If you're an expert already, just have a look and tell me if what I'm sharing is right. If you're a beginner, well, you're at the right spot there. In the good old days, to be able to generate the image there, we use some prompt, right? Prompt engineering to be able to generate the image there. So you have the prompt, you have the stable diffusion model, and then from there you'll be able to generate an image. This was the very basic workflow there. The prompt, you can write pretty much whatever you want. The prompt is really there to guide and to make sure that the model generates the image that you want to see. So if you change to water to sitting, you will see that change in the image there. There's some randomness for sure, but that's why you need to regenerate multiple times until you get something you like. So as you can see here, you have the sitting, the water, the moon, really what you're looking for as you generate the image there. But even though it's a complex stable diffusion models, it's still a generic model. So if you ask for something specific like Morrigan there from a game character, it might have an idea what it is, but it won't know all the details because again, it's one model, right? So it can only know that much. You can see here the model looks kind of like it, but it's missing a lot of details. The hair is not the right color. There's a lot of things not quite right. Do you, in this case, update all the SD model there to know all the different characters? No, that'll be never ending. You need to add on something to it, and that's called the LoRa, the low rank augmentation there. So with this, you can have a small LoRa that would know your character, and then you add it to the SD model, and with that you'll have the thing you're looking for. The trigger word there, that's just a way to trigger it there, and then you'll see you'll have the model that you like that looks way more similar to the character that you're looking for. Even if you change around a bit the prompt there, you'll get what you want with that detail of the character and the prompt that you're looking for. So that's really great. And because this is stable diffusion, it can be as detailed as you want as long as you generate it with the upscaler. And this is another key concept, right? The star is the key concept there. Upscaler, you take the image that you like, that you generated and that you like, and you upscale the model. This upscale is not the one we used to do in the good old days where you just stretch the pixel, you stretch the lines there. In this one, you're really using AI to upscale, right? You're using the model and the LoRa to create new pixel, new information that was not there before. So this is why you can go as detailed and as high resolution as you want, because you're really generating the stable diffusion image again, but based on the reference image there. So that's why it's very close to the reference image, and yet it has all the details there. And another key concept here is the steps. The steps here, you start with a noise, right? There's no information that is valid there, and this is a key concept. And as you increase the step, the noise becomes more and more stabilized toward your LoRa, toward your prompt, toward the model that you use there, so that it gets closer and closer to the image that you want. And this is the concept called denoise, right? Which is a key concept also. And you can see, increasing the step, the more you increase the step, the more it has time to think about it, to stabilize, to make sure that the image is looking close to what you're looking for. If you don't give enough steps, you'll get, not all the details there, because again, it just couldn't have enough time to have that level of detail. So with the steps in mind, we can run again the LoRa, the PROM, the SD model to get something. And you can see here as an example here, as you increase the step, you get more and more detail of a anime character. I'm using here Makima. So it starts with just noise, and then it gets clearer and clearer there. Keep in mind that every step doesn't mean that's just exactly the same image. It can change the image there as you change the step. In fact, anything that you change could change the actual image there. So don't assume that just increasing the step, you'll get exactly the same image. In fact, that's why the seed here, which is a key concept, is an important one also. Because just changing the seed, you change the randomness of that noise, and just that alone, without changing anything else, it's going to give you a different result, right? So the seed here, important key element. Now, all that was stable diffusion image. How about video? How do you do video? So back then, when you had to do videos, you had to generate a ton of images, and then making sure that there's some consistency with control of the image, and you hope that when you put everything together that it looks good, right? And it's not too bad, but you can see the flickering, it's not consistent. Now, if we fast forward 2 years up till now, which is very recently, we have the new models that allow us to do video generation. This is new, right? I mean, this is just came out not too long ago there. This is the Hunyuan model, which not only allows to generate image, but allow to generate video so that it's consistent. And keep in mind the LoRa, it's a Hunyuan LoRa. It's not the same LoRa that we use for the stable diffusion. So with all this together, prompt, seed, LoRa, now you have a video that's very consistent, right? I mean, the shape of things doesn't change, the eyes, the hair, it's all staying right there. Even though you change the angle, the consistency is kept. And that's the key element of the Hunyuan model there. Now, with all that, let's get into the workflow, right? I mean, the one that I just created there. Now, you look into a bit deeper there, the Hunyuan model, it's the one we want to use. We have the prompt as the normal basic workflow. You have the Hunyuan LoRa that we just saw. With these together and the seed, I'm not going to mention the seed every time because it's there all the time. But if you put this together, like before, you have the video generation. So this is one of the steps that's very important there. So let's lock that down and put that as a reference because we're going to see the whole workflow at play here. Another part of the workflow is the Florence model. So this model is basically reading an image and then giving you a prompt, right? It's reading the image and telling you, this is what I see. So to understand and to know what the AI sees is important because it's going to help you create a nicer prompt. I mean, scenes like this, like the city, a bar, I mean, it'll be hard for me to detail it in the AI way. With the Florence model, that's going to help you out. This is the text input prompt generation. So that is also a key part of the workflow. Now we have the upscaler. We saw that before. Whatever you have at the end, you want it to be higher resolution. It's hard to go high resolution at the very beginning because it takes a lot of time to generate. So you generate smaller version of things, and whenever you see a video that you like, then you upscale it. So this will ensure that you have a more detailed video. A little trick here, I mean, if you change the reference video, well, in that case, you can actually combine with the upscale there. It's trying to upscale a video, but yet the LoRa and the prompt and the model is telling it to generate something in a different character. So both together, you can see you have a change of character or a combination of that LoRa and character with the reference video. And this is crankable. This you can increase or decrease the level of resemblance of your reference video. Do you want it to be very close to your video that you put as reference, or do you want it to be to leave the AI to generate whatever it thinks it should be looking like? So this is the latent guidance upscale, which is a key part of this workflow also. So the next one here, we have the image to video loop. So this one is really the what permits to do the infinite loop video, right? Because so far when you generate a video, it's very short. It's just a few seconds. But if you want to do way longer video, you need a way to generate many second video and connect them together, and they are aligned together. You know, you don't want to have video and then suddenly it changes poses to another video. And this is recent also. This is the Leap Fusion LoRa. This LoRa was trained to basically have an image, and then from there it knows from that image to create motion. And because of that, you can input an image into the Hunyuan model, and then you'll have a video out of it there. You can see this, the starting frame, it's gonna give you that video, and then you can loop back, right? You take that video that you generated, you bring it back to the beginning, and then the last frame of that video, it's gonna become an input, which then again you loop again, and then you have a infinite loop image to video generation there. So that's another important part. And then you have the final merge and interpolation. I mean, I don't spend a lot of time toward this final step there, because it's simply the the last step that you do when you have all your video that you like. Think of it as you increase the quality of the video, you want also to have nice video itself, right? So this is kind of like interpolation of the different frames there so that the video is smooth. So those are the 5 steps. I mean, the text input, that helps you do the text prompt. You have the video generation, that's an important one. You have the latent guidance upscale. You have the image to video loop to create long video, and you have that final merging together every video and having smooth video with the model of frame and interpolation. So are we ready to really see the real thing? Let's see the workflow, right? So before I detail the workflow here, let me tell you how I design it, right? So the workflow design preference, because there's many other workflow around there. But in mine, I want to keep it simple, something simple. I don't want a super condensed yet complex workflow that's hard to understand, and keeping it very simple there. I'm limiting but not hiding the node connector, right? The little lines here, there are some lines, but there's no billions of lines around there, and they're rather visible, rather aligned in a way so that it's not hard to understand. I don't hide nodes behind other nodes there. I mean, for that, it's hard to understand what's happening when there's a bunch of things hidden everywhere. And I have a lot of focus group that I don't lock, right? I mean, none of the nodes are locked here, and the groups enable me to understand what's happening within each step there, each important key part of the video generation. So those are the five part, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, it's the same one that we just discussed before. It's just that now it's the actual workflow. It's not just theory. So let's zoom in a bit there so that we can see a bit better. This is the first step, right? Step 1. I titled them correctly so that it's easy to find. And you have the fast group muter here. So this enables you to enable and disable different groups, right? So use that correctly so that you don't run the whole thing all the time. You just run whatever that you need. Step 1 is the text input prompt generation. So this is where you have input there. Just a reminder, green, changing nodes. Black is the switch, right? So black is where I switch things around there. So you can see here the switch. This means that you have to choose between the top and the bottom part there. Is it the video input? Is it the image input? You have to choose. In here you have the Florence model, you have a add command prompt there, so you can add a prompt that will always show up. But this is the key output there. This is a prompt gen. So whatever you put as an image or video, it's gonna give you what it sees, right? So this is the key output of the whole thing. So now I'm putting a image of Makima, and this is what is generated from that. But again, this is just the overview. We can actually do a full run later on so that you'll see actually how it's being used. So let's go to step 2. Step 2 is the video generation. So this is another important step. I enable here the video generation group so that we can work with this. So in here it has many things, but again, the green nodes are the ones that you need to focus on, right? So you can see on the top left you have the model, you have the prompt that I'm playing around with there. But top left you have the LoRa, right? The more detail, more additional information that you can toggle. This node enable you to toggle on and off. You can put the strength, how much of a LoRa that you want to see happen there. Right in the middle you have the prompt. This is where really you write what you want to see show up or generate as a video there. On the bottom there you have the resolution, so video size. You have also the length, how long you want the video to be, how many frames. The random noise, we talk about it, right? So that's the seed. You change the seed if you want to change the output without changing anything else. And the quality toggle, this I put as a toggle because I was annoyed to always change between different values there. So right now it's just a slider. And then you have the video output. So the toggle there is just for convenience. Now if we go to step number 3, which is the enable upscale group so that we can see it there. And let's see here in the middle there you have that denoise dial, right? So that dial that you can increase, decrease there, the denoise of 0.8. Higher denoise, you can see more change. The AI is going to be enabled to denoise more, hence to be able to generate more, right? More information that is not related to the reference video. And you can see here you have a switch also. Is it the reference video from the previous step or a reference video from a external load of video there? You have a upscale ratio. I keep it to 2 usually, but I mean, if you run out of memory, you want to upscale a bit less, you can lower that value there, or more, depending on what video you're generating. Step 4, so this is the image to video loop. Top left, you have the image to video LoRa. This is the key LoRa that enables you to do image to video, right? So that you don't change. You leave it there, even though it's a LoRa. Here you have the list of LoRa there that you can enable, disable. You have the model loader. So this is the Hunyuan model. You have the prompt. So this one is where you write what you want to see, the action you want to see from the image reference. Let's go toward the bottom. The bottom you have the image input and the video input. So this is to enable the loop, right? So image or video, obviously you have a switch, but also the image color match. This is a extra node that I enable so that, you know, between loops it still looks good. You have the video size 2D slider. It's just a slider to select the resolution, right? You have the seed. You have the low to high quality slider, again a toggle, because I don't want to constantly change between preview and high quality. And you have the output, right? So this is where you get your output, your final video. So let's enable the video reference group there. So this is where you get from an external video. It could be the video that you generated from step 2. That's fine too. In fact, most of the time I just load the video I generated because I generated so many video that it's only at the end I choose, right? Yeah, I have some image cropping and image centering there nodes. so that it enables you to center it or to remove extra part of the video that you don't want to regenerate. You have a little note here to kind of estimate how much VRAM you're going to be using so that you don't go over the out of memory. The output's going to be there. It's not there, but it's going to be showing up right there in the corner. But we'll see it in action later on there to see how that works. And you can see here you have the reference video connected, but you have to choose, right, with the black nose there. You have to choose between the top and the bottom part. So let's enable the final group, which is the final merge interpolation. Like I mentioned before, this group is when you have all your little videos, you want to merge them together. So you have those video you can merge, and then you have that input batch multi node that you can choose how many that you merge together. You can change the count there. In fact, all of those should be green. I'll probably change it. You have the upscale model and the on the bottom there, the film VFI. So that's the where the smoothing between frames happens there. So think of it as the upscale of between frames and not of resolution. So they have a smooth video. So all that's how it looks like. Now let's run this workflow. Let's see actual execution, actual example of us using this workflow so that you know how to use it yourself. So step one, the text input, right? So the generation of text so that it's going to help you out with the prompt. So let's try this. I mean, the run one right there. You'll see this is from the video image there. So it's running, and you're gonna see the description of what it sees, right? So that is what it sees. There's some futuristic cityscape, tall building, and etc. etc. Now let's switch to the bottom part, which is the load image. So from that image, what does it see, right? So again, we're not gonna use it directly as is, right? We need to use it, but you know, be smart about it there, right? So take that prompt and then remove element that you don't like. So I have Makima there. I changed rapidly, but I have the Makima prompt. I'm gonna add it to the video gen prompt node, but I'm not gonna use the whole thing. In fact, in this case, because I was already testing with it, I already have a prompt that's pretty good already. So I might not want to change anything, but just so that you see, I'm gonna paste the prompt that we just generated, and then remove all the things that's not interesting there. And then from that, you have a good prompt that you can use. Right. So the reason why I'm removing things is that you don't want it to be high token. Too many tokens there, which is the count of how many. Let's say word. It's not really word, but let's say word. If you have too many of it, you confuse the model, right? So you want to keep it less than 120 tokens there. Add a little element there to count. You see 116. It counts how many tokens you use, but it only counts when you run it, right? So whenever you run something, it's going to tell you, oh, how many prompt you have. How many tokens you have. For the top left, you have the LoRa. Make sure that the LoRa it doesn't go over 1.4. I realize if you total the strain of the LoRa to above 1.4, it starts to give some strange strain artifact. So keep it 1.4 or lower as a total of the sum. As a test, so that you see it, I mean, let's go without any LoRa. I mean, we've seen that theory, right? I mean, I'm just gonna start with one frame of length. I'm gonna start with low quality, just so that you see what it looks like. It goes faster this way. Let's run it. It goes really fast. I didn't fast forward the video because it's very low quality. You can see it kind of knows Makima. It kind of knows what to draw. I described in the prompt, but clearly that is not Makima. That is quite different than what I'm expecting. Now I add the LoRa, and you can see it's already resembling. I mean, the hair, the style is already more close. But let's try another one there. I put the second LoRa there, the move enhancer to help have a more realistic style. Here, I mean, that looks much nicer there. So let's go higher quality. Now that we feel the prompt is right, the the setting is right, let's increase the quality. So you can see the 30 step is way nicer than the 10 step. But that is a fact, right? That's known already. Is it always the case? Not always, but in 99% of the cases, true. If we fast forward this there, I generated with the long length now, but low quality. Why long length, low quality? Because now we're previewing the motion. Right? We want to see what kind of motion we're getting there, and we don't want to spend a lot of time, so we try to see the motion, and then we go low quality. Now let's say we like that. I mean, I know I put reroll there, but let's say we like this one. I just want to see what it's going to be looking like. I'm gonna generate this. Now it looks way nice there, right? Is it identical to the preview? No, I mean it's not gonna be identical, but it's gonna be resembling. I do notice that my seed was constantly changing. I put the control to increase every time there. I just realized that, but the idea is the same, right? I mean, you keep everything similar and you change between low quality, high quality, and the length to be able to have a preview to end up, when you have a good feel about the motion, about the prompt, about the whole thing, then you do the final gen, which is high quality and long length. So you can see here, this is the motion preview. It looks good. Let's generate this. We run it again. When you do the gen with the high quality and the high length, then obviously that's going to take a lot more time. Oh, and that looks really nice there, right? So nice motion. A bit of motion, artifact blur there on her arm. So that's something not amazing, but we're gonna still use it because we know we're gonna be upscaling, right? With the upscale, it's gonna give it more detail and a chance to correct things there. So let's enable the top group. So the top group here, I'm gonna load that video that we just generated. I'm gonna put the frame load cap to 1. I just want to see one frame because we're gonna be cropping the image a bit or maybe centering it a bit there. In this case, it's pretty good already. I mean, I just remove a bit of the top so that the sky, there's nothing to see. And by running this, you can see that with all that setting, it's 14.2, which is lower than 15. In this case, in my case, around 15 is the max. If I go above 15, it's gonna out of memory. In your case, you have to figure out what number, what value it is there, depending on how many VRAM you have. I have 24 gig of VRAM there. So let's see with that setting that we want. We can choose between the top and bottom there. We're going to choose the top because we want to use that reference video. And then we're going to run. We only run with one frame to start with, just to see what it looks like. And you can see, looks good. I mean, I don't see any issue here. So because of that upscale is looking good, let's remove the one frame only. And let's do this for the whole video. So we can see this video, but now upscale. We're putting the denoise to 0.8 so that it gives it a good balance and it gives it a chance to fix issues and to make it look nice. So you can see the arm is looking very nice. There's no more artifact there. The blur was stabilized, right? So that looks good and the video looks amazing. So really, I'm really liking what I'm seeing. So that denoise dial, I mean, I don't talk about it enough. I think this is where to review this there to actually see the impact of that dial. So let's say you have the left video reference, right? So that's our video reference. And let's play around with the dial to see what happens when you change that dial there. So this is our dial. And let's say we put the dial value to a different value here so that we can see what happens when we we say we denoise, right? We change the denoise value. So let's say we put a denoise to 0.8, which is 80%. What does it mean? It means that, that image reference, it's only maybe, in fact, there's only 20% of the image, the pixel that goes through, right? It's not exactly like this because it's all happened in the latent space, but just to give you an idea, I mean, 80% is going through, so it still knows what the reference video is, but sorry, only 20% goes through. 80% it has to regenerate. So it has a lot of space to generate something new there, but it has to fit within that 20% reference. So you can see the eyes is sharper, the hair has more detail, even the color there of the clothing is nicer. So, I mean, everything is better, but it stays within that reference. So there's a constraint of those pixel to match still, right? So if we increase even more, so there's even less pixel that goes through. So you can still barely see the video reference. You can see a bit the hair, the shape there, but it's almost not visible, right? So you're giving AI a lot of space, a lot of possibility to change or to generate new things. You still have to match those random pixel element, but now it can change a lot of things, right? It has a lot of denoise power, denoise percentage to create new AI there. So you can see much more changes allowed there. The movement is a bit different. The aspect ratio is a bit different of the face. Everything is slightly different, right? Because you're giving it 95% of the noise value there. You can denoise a lot of things. It's thinking that most of it's noise, and then it has to denoise everything. Now let's just complete this guide there. I mean, let's put it 1%, meaning that it's everything, denoise everything. So denoising everything, it means that it's as if there's no video reference. I mean, it's as if you're doing a new generation there. It still looks similar because remember, there's prompt, there's LoRa, there's a bunch of other things that goes through. But I mean, there's a lot of changes when you can start to see some new artifacts, new blur that happens because it has zero reference. It's just starts new, as if you were doing step number 2 there. Now let's go the other way. Let's crank it to 55%, right? So it means that half of the pixel here is going through. So you can see pretty much the picture or the video there. Not 100%, but I mean, it's very close. You can see the generation is very close. It's almost the same thing. It's just a lot more details around those reference element there. But it's almost the same thing. It's barely able to see the difference there. But still, there's some difference that you can see. I mean, the color there of the shirt, you can see the hair, more detail. I mean, everything is a bit more detailed, but it's very close to the reference. And that is, again, there's no right or wrong value. That is a value to choose. Let's go 40%. Now, at 40%, it means that almost the whole video goes through there. Be careful whenever you lower the denoise value too much. Some artifact starts to appear, right? So you cannot put the value of the denoise too low there. So you have to be careful. But again, it's rare that I use such a low value of denoise, so usually it's not even a problem there. But you can see some weird artifact showing up. So what do I use? I most of the case use 0.8, 80%. It feels like it's a good balance between giving the chance for the AI to generate new data so that it looks good, but also keeping the reference nice. So again, there's no real right value there. It depends what you're trying to do. To really choose the value that you think is right for you or for your video and the goal you want to achieve. But hopefully with this, you have an idea of what is that crankable, upscaling, crankable denoise that I was talking about there. Hopefully it helps a bit there. But going back to the generation on another timeline, I mean, I was doing something else, so it's not exactly where I left off. But the idea is still there. I mean, let's go into the looping group there, so we can see how do we do video loops. So that is the step number 4, the video loop. Let's go all the way to the right there. So this is the video loop group node. It's a pretty big one, so we're gonna spend some time there. But let's zoom in a bit and look. So like I mentioned, I mean, this is the different low-res selection. You can disable the one that you don't need, and you can just keep or change the one that you need there with the string that you need, right? So keep the same as before. You want it to be very similar. Same thing for the prompt. I'm gonna go copy the prompt I have there. If you don't have similar LoRa and similar prompt, if you don't have similar things, you're gonna get some potential shifting or changing video when you generate it. I mean, when you put a image reference, the output is not that image that just move, but it's gonna shift to something else, right? So that's a behavior that happens. It's not perfect, but keeping everything very similar, it's gonna help. So here you have a low and high quality again, like before, just a slider. You see 8 there, but in the recent workflow I put it to 10. 8 it was a bit small. So here I choose a video, the video that we generated. A slightly different one. I run this. It's gonna take the last frame of that video and it's gonna create a motion out of it there. Now I put low quality just to see, does everything look okay? I mean, looks okay. It's normal that's low quality, but at least everything looks good there. I'm gonna save that preview image. I'm gonna load it into the load image there. Now, why do we do this even though we're using the video? Because I have that color match also. So I'm using the that image to do color match, right? So that between video of loops, it doesn't change the color too much. It helps a bit. It's not perfect. It helps. I increase the length now that I'm happy what I'm seeing. I increase the quality. The resolution was set already, so that's fine. Let's and let's add some action, right? And now that we want to do actually the image to move, let's write something that is not only descriptive of the video, but an action that she does, right? So smiles and wink. Let's run this. Fast forward. So we see the result rapidly. Here we go. The color match. And done. So there you go. You can see the winking there. So hopefully you have an idea how that works. Now the motion is okay. I mean, again, would I keep that as a final thing? No, but again, I'm just showing you what it looks like. I would have probably generated some other and then choose the best one. But let's say that was good, right? So I'm gonna take that, save it. I'm gonna save that gen output there. And I'm gonna reload it into the load video, right? So that we can do that infinite loop that we're talking about. And then once you do that, you run it again, and then you'll have more motion based on that new video. And then you change the action so that it actually does something different. And so on and so forth. I mean, this is a infinite loop, so you can do this forever. But again, keep in mind that every time you do it, it doesn't mean that the generation is going to be looking good, right? So you have to change the seed, change the action, redo it again until you get something good. And then you can go into step 5, which is the last step, right? The merge everything together. So that's the step where you have all the little videos that you have. You want to put them all stitched together, and you want to do that final frame interpolation so that the video is smooth. Now disable everything, enable only the final step. You go there, and let's load the different video. In fact, I'm not even load the video. I mean, let's assume this is the right one because I didn't generate enough video there. But just pick the count that's right. In this case, it's 3, and I'm adding the node of the third one. Changing the color live to green there. I mean, these are the nodes that change all the time, that you have to change the input. I'm changing the color to green to showcase this. And once you have those videos, it's not even the right video that needs to be merged, but it's just an example, right? So you run this, it's gonna upscale it, it's gonna merge it, and then you have that final video output there that is merged together with smoother animation because it has that frame interpolation there with the smooth animation. So that's pretty much the whole workflow that we're going through there, right? From step 1 to step 5. All the concept within one workflow. I used to have multiple workflow that I was, switching between back and forth. Now it's just one workflow that I enable different groups depending on the need. And all this is on that 5 basic concept, right? I mean, the text input prompt gen to help us generate the prompt. We have the video generation. That's the trial and error there. You have the latent guidance. You want to increase the quality. You have the loop so that you have long video, and you have the final merge to beautify the whole thing. So with that, let's go to the bonus section where I share a bit of a few things I've generated there. Not a lot because I was focusing a lot on my tutorial there. So hopefully you like this tutorial that I've made there. I mean, this is a fully complete one from beginner to a bit more expert level. I've detailed a few things that hopefully it helps you understand also how things are working, and not just how to click and use this workflow, but really to know the concept there, because we're going to be reusing these concept over and over. It's not just a one time there. As the AI improves, as different groups, different model change, we're going to be changing that workflow, but keeping the workflow style and workflow groups rather similar to this, so that we can find ourselves again there. But I hope you like it, and I'll see you around in the next iteration of new model or new AI that just came out there. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.